What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling completely opposite than the SPY Qs, most tech. Maybe feel like a little value stock. I hope you guys feel like value stocks today. Some of them are still pumping while the rest of the tech world getting clapped. We got Albert in the house though. Good morning to you. Good morning to Anna, Andy, Bill, Emily, Frank, Jeffrey. Good morning to Keith, Kevin, Lauren, Lou, Lucian's in the house. Good morning to Lydia, Marius, Martina, Ray, Rick. We got Tim in the house. Wendy's in the house. I'm not sure. Martina just popped in. No. I think I covered you. I think good morning to you anyway. Double good morning to you. We got all my people at YouTube land. Good morning to Clarice, Mustafa, Real Virtual Demand, LC. We got Benjal, good morning to you. M Sky Hostile, good morning to you. And all of my lurkers, of course, in that background that just refuse to say anything. It's okay. I still love you. Hit that like and subscribe button, and you can always jump the fence. You could always go from lurker to commenter. It's wild, but make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. But yeah, we got man, YouTube. You guys are blowing up already. Lots of comments. Clarice saying quite the sell-off. Real Virtual Man says, what's the tariff wars? What will they cause? Yeah. So the crazy thing about the sell-off, if you're really feeling the sell-off, the mass recession of 2025, you probably don't have value stocks. If you're building out that long term, the time to buy value stocks, and if you don't have the long term, just stop day trading. Get the long term. Build that first. I mean, at least you walk away with something, and then you take the day trade profits, you throw it into the long term, right? You pay bills, you buy some more long term, you continue to contribute, but value names 6 months ago to 2 years ago, 3 years ago, value nobody wanted any value, right? There's like tech is going for Palantir is going multiples like crazy, Tesla's going nuts, Nvidia's going nuts, AMD was going nuts, SMCI. But that was the times when just the valuation was very, very good on some of those stocks, MO, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, even Costco, Walmart. But those are the value names that are still kind of hanging in there, still kind of even some of the ones like Costco, I mean, they're still at almost highs, even if they get some kind of pullback valuation starting to get a little crazy on them. But those are the times where you're buying those divvy stocks. Nobody really wants them into the long term. Now you have that kind of pumping. This is the time to start looking at some of the tech names, right? So you're just building out that portfolio for the long term, right? And now you're starting to look, okay, is there some good, decent tech names that isn't up 300%, 400%? Is there something I could start to look to add? Maybe today is not the day to add it, but maybe there's some names that you can start looking for the next 12 months if this sell-off continues. In regards to real virtual demand, we do have tariff talks. We're expecting to get tariffs today. Trump literally was telling us since pre-election that he was planning on tariffs. He was pretty much telling us over the weekend, like, yeah, no, tariffs are still a thing. Those are happening. And instead of selling off on the weekend, the market starts buying things up. So, um, longevity of tariffs, I don't know. But everybody who's complaining about egg prices, so yeah, eggs little high in price. Obviously, we got bird flu. We saw some inflationary numbers start to drip into some reports yesterday. So prices are higher. What's a good way? Somebody let me know. What's a good way to bring down the pricing? What's one solid way to bring down some? No, I'm never lurk shaming. What's one good way? What's the best way to bring down pricing? Make more? Yeah, you could increase some supply. We have some investments coming in, less demand, AI chickens, yeah, that would work. Uh-huh. Flood the market. Uh it's a crazy word. I'm not allowed to say it, but it's an R word. Yeah, recession. Believe it or not, nobody wants to see it. The market's gonna hate it, but that is also one great way to do this. Not sure that we are going into a recession. Again, the market itself, we are seeing rotation. You're still seeing a lot of those value names start to increase because people are a little terrified if you have a recession, right? And again, I'm not saying that we have one. I'm not saying we're getting there. But it is a good way to bring down pricing. If you have recession, you want to have as little debt as possible during a recession, as much cash as possible during recession, right? This way, as things get cheaper, now you're buying good quality stuff for good discounts, good pricing. You have little debt, so you're not that frees up more cash for you. But then the pricing of everything does come down. The market will be coming down as well with it, but that's your opportunity to buy. So as much as we have a little pullback, we're off like what 12% in the last couple weeks, couple days really in the market for the SPY. The SPY is still holding up, but what is getting killed? Tech names, right? If the market is fleeing into the safety names, they're getting the dividends. They're a little bit worried about where the market come. You know what? If I can get a stock out there that's 4%, 5%, 3%, good quality as the market comes down, those are the names that probably come down less, right? Anything that is just pumped full of value or valuation at least, where valuation is just high, now you have an overpriced asset where you were kind of running that momentum play, but momentum is going to stop coming in, right? And that's what we're kind of seeing in this market. That being said, market is still very choppy, so I'm doing one thing that I don't think I've done since 2021. My day trading charts are changing. So instead of watching everything on a 3 minute, we're trading now off the 5, right? Just to avoid some of the chop. And then the SPY, I usually keep on the 5. That I'm moving over to a 15. That would be less trades that we take. That would be higher quality, but less trades, but hopefully less wicks in out of trades, right? So you're able to trade the trend more. So just a little strategy that once you have established uh trading, I mean every time we're trying to take trades that work great on plans the last 4 or 5 years and prior to that, you get chopped around too much. You gotta go a little bit longer time frame to avoid some of that recent chop. So I got my TOS switched over. We're going with that. Lucian says recession will lower the value of the dollar as well, though. So it will still even out expense bonus. It should. It should, yeah. But the price of eggs itself will be the problem is when you're in a recession, so it's a little different. Technically, you're correct, but in a recession, uh, you have two things. One is the biggest thing is fear, right? So that's where you start to see fear from companies. That's when you start getting layoffs. Even if you are not really in a recession, the companies themselves, they're still going to tighten the buckle on what they buy, what they expense. They're trying to clean up some of the over froth in the company, right? And that is going to affect any layoffs. Obviously, the employees stop having paychecks. They start getting worried. Even if they don't get laid off, they know there's a potential for them to get laid off, and that stops spending. Once you stop the spending, now you have still maybe the same supply coming out, but now, like somebody said earlier, you start to have the not as much demand for products, right? So true, dollar will be more expensive, but you start to build the supply side of things with less demand, just because people are going to stop looking to spend. If we get to that point where recessions, we still have Jerome Powell too, which could come in with rate hikes, right? Nobody's talking about that. Nobody has mentioned that. I don't know why, but for the last year and a half, 2 years, all I heard, 3 years even, hard landing, soft landing, hard landing, soft landing. I haven't heard any hard landing talk ever. And I think if you go back, I think I was hosting the afternoon room. This is when they first did their rate cut. Some of you guys were probably there, but I was like, I don't like that 50-point cut out of nowhere. That could actually lead to a hard landing. And I was like, I don't know if we necessarily see it until March. And here we are in March. And now, now maybe we should see. And he could lay eggs. Who could lay eggs? Trump himself? They're the best eggs. Nobody's laid eggs better than I've laid some eggs. That being said, all in all, with this little gap down on SPY, we are at the lows of yesterday. We are right at a little bit of support. So the level that I'm watching for today will be 580.33. If we start breaking underneath that, we still have this. We closed the gap once on this. What was this? January 25th. I'm not even quite sure. I know the Japanese yen trade was somewhere around August, but we had a nice little dip down. I forget why. I forget what the reason was, but we bought that dip up immediately, and now we're just kind of retesting a really good spot in the market. So let's see if this 580.33 holds. If not, next spot down is going to take us into 575.64, but I kind of don't even love that level. We've been there before. I think it could break down, and then I think we're looking at like 571.93, 570, somewhere in that zone. So those are the spots that I'm watching, but otherwise it is a retest gap for today. We have the news now that there is supposed to be tariffs. We sold off a good looking gap yesterday. We sold off a little hard on it, even though over the weekend we had the news that the tariffs were still happening. So is it kind of priced in at this point? I don't know. I'm not sure. But it could be one of the things where we get the tariffs and we actually don't drop as crazy. This might be the tariff drop heading into the news. And then I think we have Trump is talking tonight to either to the Senate or the Congress, something like that. But we'll see what he says, but that's after the market closes. You got the Qs also gapping down. Not a great location. You kind of want to see this one hold 495.77. So far, not there. We do have an open gap on this one that was not closed. That's going to take us to 492.01. That's also going to take us to the 200. And Qs do look a little bit weaker as they have just more tech kind of built into it. We'll check Bitcoin, BTC, USD. So if it happens, it's my fault that we get the hard landing. Listen, I don't know. I don't understand why hard landing is a bad thing. It just sounds like it's intense. Like it spent some time in jail or something. Like yeah, we got a very difficult landing coming up. I mean, we saw planes 2 weeks ago land upside down. Nobody cares. The stock just still went up. So I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good opportunity if we do get some good pullbacks. That's like if we get a real pullback, there's life-changing opportunities in there. So up, down, all around, we'll make some money. We got Bitcoin just kind of chilling for now. It's still breaking some key levels, so I don't like that. You really want to see 84,368 holds. We've broke that. I think the next target, immediate target down is about 80,524, and then the next one, which hopefully should be a good spot, 76,425, somewhere in that zone would be a decent one. Pal's laying the eggs? Oh. There's a little twist. 25% on Canada and Mexico. They're already in place. That's already happened. The last one is China, which he was saying 10% first, then 20, then there's rumors of 25. So I don't know if that one's in there. And an extra 10%, is that confirmed as well? Sold a lot of cryptos except Bitcoin and XRP and ETH, says Wendy. Bailing out. Okay. Let's take a look at some tickers. I think you guys threw a couple in there earlier, so let me see. There we go. Coin, Tesla. I see Sound in YouTube land. So yeah, Sound kind of getting beat up a little bit. Again, earnings were pretty good on it. Pre-market trading at the delay of its 10K report. Is this another SMCI situation? We saw what happened to SMCI when that happened. But a little delay in filing. Yeah, a little extra beat up. I don't know if I'd be chasing this one in a bullish direction, but 885 is where you should be holding it. I like it if it comes down to like 530. As we were down in this zone before, I did sell some puts and they closed out on day of earnings. I don't know if I'm ready to go for round two on that one. I think I'm just gonna chill out as the entire market's kind of coming down. But yeah, if it come down a little bit further, I might look to do it. So if we get back to like 750, maybe we'll have some good premium sitting around $5. But not great that we're kind of breaking the earnings candle. And one real level of support after we start to lose that. I think you got room for today down to like 753. So that's a lot of room to the downside if it breaks. We got Tesla. It's not like I have a lot of lines on this thing, but I do have a buy spot for my pyramid at 271. We got there pre-market. It's a good thing I didn't put my extended hours buy on because I would have probably got filled and been slightly up at this point. Technically, retest gap from yesterday. I don't know if that retest matters as much. It's not a great location that we're opening, and we do have a little support, actually down to like 267.82. So maybe we'll end up getting it a little cheaper. Otherwise, this gap fill looks pretty interesting. 252.61. I think we have a little bit more room to the downside, but maybe at open we could get some bids. Maybe we get some buying at open. If we do, big resistance on this one should be around the 285 if we could get there. I'm not sure that we can though. Not with this gap down. I think we'd probably be looking for like 280 print, 279.13, something like that. But if this thing could rally, I think you probably have an opportunity to short at open. I would even say you do still have some room to the downside. Lots of resist or lots of support in the way. Not sure if any of them matters if the entire market continues to sell. I don't know if I don't know. I feel like the market being down so much so quickly, there could actually be some buy opportunities. I don't know if it's going to be Tesla, but if the market rallies, that's going to prevent this move down to 252 today. Maybe you're looking at like 261, something in that zone. But I think there's some opportunities to continue to beat down Tesla a little bit. And if it does bounce, I think we're looking to go short. Coinbase, yep, same thing. It looks very similar to Tesla. Actually, kind of looks very similar almost to SoundHound as well. But lots of selling yesterday after a good looking gap up. Almost a bearish engulfing candle over most things. Not quite yesterday's candle, but today's going to complete that mission. And we do have a retest gap, but that breakdown of that last green candle, I think you probably have a little fear panic selling. I'm not sure how far this thing goes down, but you have 195.23 is your first stop. The next one after that, 185.24. And then if we get bid up, some kind of rally into like 210, 212 would be a probable good resistance on this one. Much better spot to short if we get there. I don't know that we could get there with this type of gap down. So yeah, I'd be leaning a little bit to the short side on Coinbase and Nvidia. Yeah, Nvidia getting pummeled yesterday. They were leading the charge to the downside, and then the rest of the market kind of caught up. But decent weakness, not a great close on Nvidia. This the little saving grace if you are bulls. You're looking for like this. You're starting to get to a little bit of a buy zone, 109.30. It is a retest gap. So again, do we have fear panic coming in at open and then kind of rally it up? Just being a retest, sure. What I was looking at this one is somewhere around this 107.50. You have a little bit of volume. The fact that we're below all of that volume from essentially 118 to 124, we are starting to get some closing out of that. I'm looking at a little bit of a longer term picture down to like 89.28, somewhere in that zone. I think somebody else in Slack posted something about $88 as a potential target on it as well. So I agree. I think that's your next spot on Nvidia if the selling can continue. For today, though, it is a retest gap, so maybe just pause on going short at open immediately on it as it's kind of gapping into a little bit of support. If it comes a little lower, last big line in the sand on this one is about 102.58. We start losing that. I think that $89 target looks pretty good on it. Let's see what else we got. Lawrence says, yeah, we're going to see Nvidia at 100. Yeah, I think, well, at 100, there's not really much support. I got one little level at 100, and that's like the last spot before the next $10 move down. So maybe, and psychologically, whole number, but yeah, it looks a heck of a lot like it's on the path down to 100. Palantir's another one. Frothy valuation on Palantir. It's not the time to own. It's, again, I don't know. It's still Palantir at the end of the day, but we just went from 125, so we're down about $45 from this open. So roughly $45 to the downside from the highs, and that high came in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trading days ago. That's a big move. However, is it the time to own? Not until they show me that it is, and I'm not seeing any buy the dippers really coming in. Any buy the dippers have just been traps. Um, I'd actually be looking for about 64, 63. That's still a really high valuation, all things considered, but I think that would be your better price if you're like, yeah, I need to get into some Palantir. I'd actually wait for that and then sell some puts, maybe slightly below that 200. See if you get paid and not even get filled, but you still technically have a gap fill all the way down to 45 on the volume side of things. You have one spot, maybe down to like $76, 75, 64. That could hold us up. Decent volume. Anything past 71.15 and next stop 61. Next stop 36. Next stop, I mean, all the real volume is still at $15. So we're still very, very high in price. Was if you're buying somewhere around 15, $16, all of this move, yeah, your account's getting hit, but you're still up massively. And then again, in terms of the long-term accounts, right? If you got in here, yeah, this is annoying, right? This dip is annoying. But until you like, why sell it? If you like Palantir, the valuation's high. Maybe unless you got like bills to pay or medical expense or you just need the cash, whatever. Then okay, fine. It is still a really good overpriced valuation at this point if you want to lock some gains. But really, if it's actual long term where you don't have any plans to sell, how real panicked are you if you got in somewhere close to $16? Right? Probably not too much. And there's still a lot of people profitable in a bullish direction. We could see a little bit of a bigger pullback still on this one. For day trades, yeah, I'm looking at not a great opening, kind of hanging in that last candle from Friday. We're at the very lows of it. Maybe get the retest into like 83.20. That would be a good spot to go short. And you do have a little bit of support here, but we've messed with this before. That's 79.13. Next spot, I think, would take us to the $74 range. Wendy says, got in at 19 on Palantir, not panicked. Yeah, you're still up massively wild. So if you got good prices on things, it's very difficult to like why sell it. I was even going through my portfolio. I was like, is there anything I could take profit on? Like Exxon Mobil, I got in at like 40. Uh, I'm looking at the divvies. I'm like, even if I was to sell Exxon Mobil, even if I was to sell some of these stocks that I have like really good, MO is another one. MO has been just hitting. We're very close to 52-week highs, but I was getting in at like $40 at like I don't know 15% dividends. So even with current dividends, I don't know where MO dividends are. MO dividends still at 7% now. So, but I'm getting from where I got in, I'm getting 15% year over year on divvies. Just either give me the divvies on good returns. I'm not gonna find like something relatively decently safe. I'm not gonna find that from treasuries. I'm not gonna find that from anywhere else. So it's like, why sell those ones unless I just need the money for a better opportunity somewhere else. But I don't know where that would come in. MO is a big miss for you, wanted at 49. Yeah, we talked about that one. It's a decent price to start piecing in, but I was going heavy at like 40, 44 all the way down to like 40. I was just month after month buying like all through here. So at 49, it looked like a decent balance for me, but yeah, just different situation. I'm already in it, and then I'd be paying up about $5, $6 higher on that one. Hood, another one, all momentum. Obviously we just talked about Bitcoin possibly coming down a little bit further. There's no buyers quite yet, but Hood looks like it is in no man's range of support or resistance. I think your next immediate target or next eventual target probably about 41.37 because all that volume's above us. And I think we can get back into like the $38 range somewhere. So that looks like decent move to the downside. Again, for today though, that is a bearish engulfing candle. It's not opening at a great spot. I don't think we get all the way up to yesterday's VPOC at $50.69. But I would think that if you could get into potentially this 45.82 zone, that might be a decent spot to look to go short. Otherwise, Haven't really. We almost got down here, didn't quite, but 43.24 target for today. Otherwise, you do have a gap sitting at like 39.22, which is a spot we just talked about. So I think some more room to the downside of that one as well. TEM. This is the Kathy Woods stock. Oh no, this is the Pelosi one, right? Yeah, this is the Pelosi one. Retest gap into almost a little support. If you get a high wave candle, you might be able to play this for a fade, 47.32. But I think anything with the Pelosi stocks, people don't really know what they're like. The only reason they're owning it is because of Pelosi. And that makes it harder to hold when things start to look a little bit ugly. But you're probably closing yesterday, maybe at the 618. Today you're kind of opening, so maybe short at 50.82. Otherwise, look to maybe if you get a candle go long 47.32. If that breaks though, you got room down to 40, and then eventually I think this gap fill 35.82 would make a ton of sense. Benjol says Hood bought at $10, stop at 40, lock in some gains either way. Mustafa says recession is not here yet for sure, but yeah, we're only down 12% in the market off the highs. If that's again, if you have a diversified portfolio long term, you're 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 not you're not really feeling too much of it. Some of those names are actually higher, hitting like we just looked at MO hitting 52-week highs. Coca-Cola, what a close on that one yesterday. Dang, I didn't even see that one. But yeah, very close to the highs from back in September. You have a decent resistance on this one, about 73.18. But good old Warren Buffett stock is still pushing, so that looks decent still. Again, I was getting this one closer to I think it was like $50 somewhere. Where was I in this one? Yeah, I was down in this range somewhere. So even with the Ds, it's like why sell those? But if you're like I said, if you're trying to build out that long-term portfolio, then as things start to come down a little bit, um we're looking for maybe now you can start rotating into tech, but I don't know if we're there quite yet. Other than that, that is the morning bell. Make sure in YouTube land you guys hit that like and subscribe button. You guys